This, under the wood siding, there are hewn logs. And
yeah, I looked under there.
Well,
you can see the floor beams that look original.
Did you shine a light in it?
Yeah, I took it with
because,
a flash.
okay, if you go straight back this hall, you used to creep me out. That's what I was going to tell you. If you go straight back.
That's in that little crawl space hall. Okay. So those beams look like probably original.
But if you go straight back here, on your left in the hall floor is this great big, from here to there, this great big trap door thing, and it used to creep me out. I would go down there. I would never go down there.
That would creep me out.
And then I remember when Doug was doing the apartment upstairs, there's access to the attic, and there was a black snake in the attic, and so I'm not touching that. Like I told you, I'm scared to death.
If you look at this window and how thick that door frame there is, I think that was probably the end of the log cabin.
House.
Because see how thick, when you see it that thick, that means there's timber framing in there.
Yes. And all the fireplace mantles, there's fireplaces in this room, this one, that bedroom, and this bedroom. And they're all, the mantles are federal. Here. Federal.
And you said he has no interest?
See, when you get to that door frame, it's a whole different construction.
And so you're exactly right, Casey. Very thick wall there.
Oh gosh, I just put my face in his mouth.
Now, is he a doctor?
Somebody enjoyed gardening because over here there were tears.
Henry Grady was the first sheriff in Buncombe County, which this area was at that time. Leah was the granddaughter of Samuel King, my four-great-grandfather. Samuel was the first settler here, coming here after serving in the 11th Virginia Regiment in the Revolutionary War. And he applied for land grant number 503 for 300 acres, application date 1 August 1778. As we all know, the settlers didn't wait for the land grants to be approved, they settled. And so we know that he was the first settler in this area. His first son, Joseph, had Leah, his daughter. The Gradys, Henry and Leah Grady, had a very famous grandson, Henry Woodfin Grady of Atlanta fame. Grady Hospital and many other places around the Atlanta area are named for him. He was the editor of the Atlanta Constitution newspaper and a very famous orator, helping Atlanta recover from the devastation of the Civil War.
Okay, now tell me about your theory here, Casey.
Okay, I'm thinking, I'm not an expert, but I'm thinking, of course, the original log cabin went to this corner right here. And it looks like it would have been a two-story log cabin because the thickness of the wall, when you look at those window frames, they're the same thickness. So I think the log cabin went all the way up. And then when you compare it to this add-on right here, you can tell the difference in the thickness of the wall.
Yeah,
and then
that's a real key when you see that wall being so much thicker.
You can see a difference when the wall thickness changes on the other side. You can clearly see that's changed.
But what about in looking at the chimney there? When the original cabin was built, would they have had brick like that, or would it be the stone? Because most old houses, don't they have the stone chimneys?
It looks like pretty old brick to me, but like I said, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
Well, again, since Joseph was a brick maker, and we know the church was built with his brick and so forth, I'd say a pretty good chance.
I mean,
that's actually
they had brick. I mean, a lot of colonial homes that have brick.
Sure, yeah.
But like I said, I'm not an expert, but that's my theory.
Well, and you know, at this point, there's probably no way we'd ever be able to know with any certainty.
They didn't have one of those in the 1820s.
And the only reason we know about the church is because it's written in the church records, which is a blessing, you know. I need to get with Terry on that.
One thing I don't know is when Henry Grady actually moved to Georgia. I know the Osbornes moved in the 1830s, late 1830s. They were there at least by 1836. But I don't know exactly when Henry made his way down there.
But if you look at the foundation, even on this part, which was later added, it's pretty much the same thing. Can we not compare this chimney structure to the chimney on the other side?
We could. I mean, it's possible that chimney could have been added on.
It could have been.
They could have put a new brick facade on it or something.
I would say the other chimney just about had to be added later.
You would have to get inside.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
You would have to get inside and look inside the fireplace of
Yes.
those bricks.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be the original.
But it's just, I know so many other places,
Well, let's compare it.
They had
So you see if
the
it's same.
stone chimneys, you know.
Oh, the house I was raised in, the entire chimney up, you know, like probably 12 feet, is huge stones put together with red mud. And I was raised there.
Well,
We heated by firewood.
Yeah, that rock foundation could have been added after the fact.
Oh, these definitely are newer brick. Yep.
and they're laid differently.
Yeah. They're larger. They're a bit larger, I believe, than the other side. Well, it just makes sense. I mean, the other one was the original log cabin, and this was part of the add-on. But this is still very old.
This house motivated me to learn a little bit about different things
Sure.
about architecture. And so I learned about the different bonds, you know, Flemish bond, brick lane, English bond, and how different ways of funding. It was very
How
interesting.
interesting.
And about returns on a house, like there's no returns on this one. But I learned all kinds of things, and that's when I learned that the fireplace was of the federal style, the mantles, you know, fireplaces.
Well, you know, the same is true as far as log cabins. And architectural archaeologists can really identify time periods by the logs, how they were cut and how they were formed together, because it changed a number of times through the years.
I watch shows on TV about archaeology.
Off-road.
Yeah.
Have y'all been up here before?
We had no idea.
No.
No, there is.
But it's a newer marker.
Now, which Jeremiah is this?
That would be, gosh, 1802. That would be Jeremiah Jr.
So, not Horseshoe.
That would be John's brother. John was born in 1770. Well, no. So that would be John's nephew. That may be who they call Jeremiah Pinckney. I don't know. Like I said, I get confused on the Jeremiahs real quick.
These are all new markers. His name would be on the founding documents, kind of like for Pennsylvania, like the Declaration of Independence is for the
Really?
United States.
The sun's not too big of an issue.
Nah.
Let's do one. I'll do another one this way. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Look over here. Patty down.
I saw the shadow.
1, 2, 3. Oh, I didn't get the original marker. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
I'm telling you, you can't take him anywhere. I know it. He's behind us.
One thing the iPhones do pretty good is regulating that light.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an ad up my nose.
All right, ready?
Wait for Janine and that.
Hey, wait till that makes YouTube.
1, 2, 3. Okay. You want one over here by Leah?
Sure, that's your ancestor.
That's the next grandmother down.
Yeah.
Ooh, gnats are brutal.
So for you, it's which grandmother?
Fifth.
Fifth
Leah was
great
my
grandmother.
fifth great grandmother.
Yeah. I'll have to try to get a crew of guys together someday and come out here and see if we can't get that stone straightened up.
Yeah.
It's really beginning to lean pretty bad. It's never been like that before.
That's okay with me.
Such a wise guy.
Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so Casey, for the sake of the video here, tell everybody who Leah King Grady was.
Leah King Grady was married to Henry Grady, and they are my fifth great grandparents.
Okay.
And
What was Henry Grady to local history here?
Local history: Henry Grady was the grandfather of Henry Woodfin Grady of Atlanta fame.
Mm-hmm.
And
But here locally, he was the first sheriff.
oh, first sheriff. Yeah,
Yeah,
here locally,
yeah,
Henry Grady
yeah.
was. Yeah.
When this was Buncombe County.
You say locally, I'm thinking locally, Big Gary, because it's
Yeah.
locally,
Yeah.
not Texas local.
Yeah, so her grandson, Leah and Henry Grady's grandson, was Henry Woodfin Grady, who was a famous orator and editor of the Atlanta Constitution newspaper in Atlanta, and was greatly respected for being so encouraging and uplifting to the people around Atlanta and recovering from the war between the states.
Right. And Henry Grady, after Leah Grady had passed away, Henry Grady moved to Gilmer County, Georgia, where he's buried today. He's at Mountain Town Baptist Church Cemetery in Gilmer County,
Okay.
just north of Ellijay, Georgia.
So Leah's husband, Henry Grady.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Henry Woodfin Grady
He's buried in Atlanta.
in Atlanta, and there's actually quite a nice monument.
Right. There's a big
Downtown.
crypt, and there's a statue of him downtown right by CNN.
Okay.
Downtown Atlanta.
Yeah.
So
And like I say, Grady Hospital in Atlanta is named for him.
every
Grady.
ambulance you see will have the Grady name.
Yeah, Grady High School, Grady Stadium. There's all kinds of things
Everything's
around
Grady.
there. Yeah.
Lots of Grady
yeah.
stuff.
He was a very highly respected, well thought of gentleman.
And then their daughter, Leah and Henry's daughter, married an Osborne, Jonathan Osborne. They ended up in Texas, and so
And that's your family.
their daughter and son-in-law are buried in Parker County, Texas,
Wow.
and that's how we all ended up in Texas.
Amazing story.
I'm Casey Osborne, descended from Samuel King Sr. and all the way down to Henry Grady and Leah King.
All right.
I'm Jonna Osborne. I'm Casey's aunt, and came here from Texas to learn more about our relatives in this area.
All right.
I'm Janine Norman. I came from Russell Springs, Kentucky. I'm also Casey's aunt, and he knows my heritage better than I do.
I'm Jerry Osborne. I'm Casey's father. We've really enjoyed getting into the genealogy page, and Casey and I have been going in two different directions. He's sticking more with the Osbornes, and I've veered off into royalty. I found out about a royal brand, so I've been spending my time there.
Interesting.
I'm Mary Alice Osborne. I'm married to Jerry and Casey's mom, and I'm just married to the Osbornes, and I just listen to all the stories.
What have you got to say, hon?
Hi, honey. You know who I am.
This sure is fun.
It is fun.
I don't know if everything was